Today I'm going to be making a video that somebody requested on my last video where I was talking about my opinion on the breeding ban. It is my top 5 funniest, weirdest experiences at SeaWorld, and I have a lot of them, but I narrowed it down to 5, so let's get into the video. It's really hot, guys. Forget I live in Texas. I'm doing this for you. For you. Hope you appreciate it. So, my first of 5 weirdest and funniest moments at SeaWorld actually happened with one particular person, and this has happened on 2 different occasions. So, person is Chuck Crow, who is the Assistant Curator of Animal Training at SeaWorld San Antonio. He is an awesome person. His love for Janet Jackson is just miles high, but it's never too soon. If you went to camp with me, you understand the too soon joke. But Chuck Crow. So the first time I ever got to meet him was August 2014. I forget the day. It was like 27th or something. Anyway, never mind that. August 2014. I went to the dolphin area where they have this big pool and they have all the dolphins, bottlenose and Pacific the Atlantic and Pacific bottlenose dolphins, all in this one pool. And we were just kind of, waiting around the side. Chuck had given me the charging pole. I've told you guys this story before, blah, blah, blah. And by the end of it, I had already freaked out because walking up there, I told my mom that I wanted to meet him. And I turned around and I'm like, oh my God, Mom, it's Chuck. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, it's him. Like, I freaked out because, like, you never really get to see him because he's the spokesperson for the Spurs also. So, like, he's not really, out in the public all the time when it comes to SeaWorld. So I never really get to see him. And I got lucky that day and I got to see him. But I ended up asking a camp counselor that was kind of standing there. I was like, hey, so I have a really weird question. Can I get a picture with Chuck? And she was like, that is a really weird question, but he is kind of famous, so I'll go ask him. So he comes out, and he brings out these 2 dolphins, we take a picture, and all that kind of stuff, and then he asks me, he's like, so, why exactly did you ask to get a picture with me? And I was like, well, you see, I don't mean to be considered, like, stalkerish or, like, anything like that, but I've looked up to you since I was little. My mom has always seen you in shows at Azul with the blue whales and the lags and stuff, and I've always kind of looked up to you. And I told my mom that I wanted to meet you, and then I found you and saw you, and I freaked out. So, yeah. And he was like, oh, well, that's awesome. What's your name? Told him my name and stuff, and he's like, well, that's awesome. Are you going to camp? And I'm like, hopefully next year. I did, but I was like, hopefully next year. And he's like, oh, well, that's awesome. I hope I get to see you. Fast forward a year, I come back in August. Wait, the first time I met him was July 2014. And then I met him again August 2015. And I went to camp and we were standing backstage at Azul. And I was standing there and he walks into the fish room and we're talking and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if you remember me, but hey. And he's like, oh, I do remember you, Williams family reunion, how could I forget? I'm like, oh my gosh. And we made jokes and stuff and it was awesome. And he's like, oh, it's really great to see you at camp, like I knew that you were going to do this kind of stuff and everything. And so it was really funny. Yeah. But yeah, also the second part of Chuck Crow or whatever, I walked over to where Azul, the ledge is on White Willow Dolphin Stadium, and I was standing there, and he brought, I had Jaren and like Kira and Tabitha and Chloe and Laura all standing there, and Millie and Whitney and everybody, and he had brought these 2 lags over. I think it was Betty and Bolt or something, and he was like, okay, everybody, take your hands and hit on your legs really hard. And we were like, okay. And so we did it. And all of a sudden, the dolphins just kind of looked at us and then turned around and splashed us and swam away. And he goes, and we all got water in our boots and we were like, eh. And he was like, they weren't supposed to do that, but okay. And they came back and he's like, do they look like they're interested? Do they look like they're interested? And we're like, yes. And he's like, no, run away. And so we went back up the stairs and out, but it was just really funny. Okay, second, Sea Lion, Otter, Walrus Stadium, with my pal Larry. He was a husbandry assistant when I did my Sea Lion interaction program with Emmy, and that was in June of 2015. And then I came back for camp in that August, and I saw Larry, and he was actually moved up to being an apprentice trainer, which is really, really cool. And so it was really cool to see him again. He remembered me. He was like, oh, hey, what's up? How's the rescue? Like the bird rescue and stuff and all this kind of stuff. And we were, you know, icing buckets and weighing fish and looking at the schedule, and he was like, if anybody needs to know how to vitamin the fish, ask Kaylin. If anybody needs help, just ask Kaylin. I'm like, you're so awesome, bro. You my man. But we were talking and everything, and it was really funny, because then these people were putting in the fish wrong. They were putting it in, like, say the fish is like this, the tail's here, the head's here, and they were putting it in like this, so it was like coming out of the fish's mouth. And I was putting it in, you know, back the way it was supposed to go. And he walks over and he was like, hey guys, what did I tell you? And they're like, what do you mean? You told us to put vitamins in the fish. He's like, I told you. Pay attention to how Kaylin's doing it, because Kaylin knows what she's doing. See how she takes the vitamin and she puts it in the back of the fish. What y'all are doing is putting it in the head of the fish, and so it's popping out of their mouth. That's not what you do. You don't do that. And I started laughing and I was like, sorry guys. It was really funny. Okay, third funniest thing. This was during my Beluga interaction program. Two things happened. So in the beginning of the video, I posted this on here. At the beginning of the video, you see what's called an innovative vocal. Nicole taught me an innovative vocal. You take an okay sign like this. Do not do this unless you're actually being told by a trainer that it's okay for you to do it. Do not. But EMAC is the only one out of the entire pod that knows this. So I was taking my okay sign out, and then you bring it to your chest. And every time she says again, you do it again and again and again and again. So every time I did it, he would have to make a different sound. The only rule was that, so he makes sounds. This means make a sound. But the only rule is every time I did it, he had to make a different sound. So he gets to be creative and come up with his own sounds. So he couldn't do the same sound 2 times in a row. He had to make different sounds. So it was really funny. So I just kept doing that. And it was just super funny. When you watch the video, it's really funny. But also at the end of it, they told us all to like gather up, like we were all gonna get like a big fancy picture. We all turned around, and then all of a sudden EMAC is splashing the crap out of us, and we're like, what the heck? And like we're being, you know, pounded with water, which would be really nice right now because the sun is beating down. But splashing on us. This is in February, which is really funny. But anyway, fourth funniest, weirdest experience. This was at Polar Day at camp with Aaron. So we were shoveling out the snow. So when you go to camp and you do penguins and stuff, you put on all the clothes that you need to put on, and make sure you have your greenies and everything from Java, and you go into the penguin encounter with shovels. And these are big snow shovels, man. Big snow shovels, because during the night, they have 2 or 3 ice machines that provide all the snow. The snow is filling up in piles, and the penguins think it's real fun and real comfortable to sleep on their bellies on the snow piles, and so it makes the outer edge really, really hard. And so you have to go in with shovels and you like bang the crap out of it and like try to shuck it and like spread the snow across the encounter. And that day there were a couple people in there with, you know, just interaction jackets on, and they were the snow machine workers. So there was something, one of the snow machines or something wasn't working, and so they were there and they were like examining it and looking at it and stuff. And you know, I'm having struggles because, I mean, look at these guns, I don't have that much muscle. And I'm like hitting it and trying to like, you know, spread the snow. Penguins are getting in my way, so I'm like, move little penguin, hey! I'm doing all this kind of stuff and moving it. And this guy comes over, one of the snow machine guys, and in the moment I did not know that it was a snow machine guy. He walks over and he's like, hey, hand me that shovel. And I was like, okay, and I handed it to him, and he was like, he starts doing it, like chucking it out like a pro, and I'm just standing there, and I'm like, he just took my shovel, and Erin walks over, and she's like, by the way, that guy is not a penguin encounter person. I was like, what? And she's like, he's actually one of the snow machine guys, he just wanted to be a part of the process. I was like, oh, okay. So I gave my shovel to a snow machine worker because he wanted to do it. I don't know, it was just funny. And then number 5, the last thing. So this one has to do with my twins. My twins, Weston and Jacob. I love you. You guys are funny. You guys are smart. You guys are nerds. You guys are great. And you guys are full of sass because when we go to camp, we have what's called a skit night or like a talent show kind of thing. And my group did the lamest skit ever. Literally, like, barely anybody laughed at it. We thought we were funny, but we weren't. We all played, like, different characters, and we all had, like, different accents and stuff. But what the storyline was, basically, of the skit is that we lost a battery in the whale and dolphin pool, and we were all, like, different accents, different characters, and we were all had, like, different tics and stuff, and we were trying to find the battery in the pool because somebody dropped it, and we didn't know how to get the battery out of the pool. It wasn't that funny. But we sure thought we were hilarious. The more dramatic, the better, right? But the funny part about it was, after us, Weston and Jacob, the sassy twins, went up and they did the sassiest, funniest, most perfect dance ever to, Little Einsteins, you know, we're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky, Little Einsteins. Yeah, that song. Let me just take a moment. This was their faces the whole time. Complete and total sass. The entire time. It was so perfect, so perfect. And they were twerking, they were whipping it, and then they were like, they came up with this big choreographed dance, and it was the hit of freaking camp. Like, I swear, these kids, like, everybody loves Weston and Jacob. They're the best, and they've been going to camp for like 9-something years. They're doing like 2 weeks of camp this summer, and I'm honestly forever jealous of them. And they're a joy to be around, joy to be friends with. I'm really happy that I actually got to meet them because we kept trying to meet up and it just wasn't working. Our schedules weren't working out. But going to camp with them was really awesome. But the dance, everybody, like, counselors were videotaping it. They thought it was the best thing ever. Everybody was tears laughing. It was really funny. So those are my 5 funniest and weirdest moments at SeaWorld. I hope you got a kick out of them. Most of these are the kind of moments where you had to be there. But I hope you got some laughs out of it. I will see you guys next time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe and see more from me, press the subscribe button down below. It's the big red button that says subscribe on it. And you can leave a comment down below requesting what you want to see. You can look in the description box with all my links to my articles for Kyle Kittleson and CentralFloridaTop5.com and see my mention on Awesome Ocean and all of that goodness, and I will see you guys next time. Have a whale of a day.